This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789.
Welcome to Carte, your premier cooking show where we're hosting the best chefs and caterers in Houston. I'm your host, Chef Jones, with Good Meal Deals Personal Chef Services. You can find me on any social media. On Facebook, Good Meal Deals. On Instagram, Goodmeal_deals. Today, we're bringing you guys all the good food-based news, tips and techniques, delicious recipes, always the a la carte style. And, of course, we always like to bring in wonderful guests and Houston foodies onto our show. Of course, today I have a great... Of course, you always see his face. You guys have seen his face plenty of times here. But I do have Mr. Garry Lee here.
What's up, good people?
What's going
up?
on?
Happy to be back. Welcome back to a la carte. I'm a foodie guest host. I guess we'll just call it like that. I'm just happy to be in the building. Of course, you can reach me online eating something wonderful at somebody's wonderful restaurant. That's at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. I'm across all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and, of course, the snappity Snapchat. So what's up, Rob? How you feeling today? Everything good?
Yes. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, but I'm okay.
Yeah. It has been a tumultuous time here in Houston, obviously, with Hurricane Harvey. It has affected every single person in some form or fashion, whether you were directly affected and with water, or now you're affected with traffic, or you buy gasoline, you have a gasoline-based vehicle, you've been affected with gas prices. Like, everybody has been touched because of this. So it's a heavy situation, to say the least.
Everybody losing all around.
Yeah.
Right.
There are no winners here.
No winners.
Everybody takes an L.
That's right.
But, and speaking of a la carte, it looks like somebody else is taking an L.
That's
I mean,
right.
what's your let's talk about this for a second. What is going on?
Of course,
with Chipotle?
Chipotle, you guys. Chipotle. It's always something with them. They're always in the news about something with the actual food product or something that they're selling. This time, they're under a federal investigation because they have to find out now what is the problem. What is the problem, Chipotle? That everybody keeps getting sick, all these foodborne illnesses. And so we actually do have an article here. Chipotle has been subpoenaed as a part of a federal criminal investigation. Now, this is serious. Okay, Chipotle then took it to a whole new level with the investigation and just going under the hammer with all these illnesses. And so what they're basically saying is they just want to dig a little deeper because Chipotle have been closed multiple times just for them to go in there and see what needs to be fixed for them to reopen. They reopen, and then every time it's a different item. It was the queso, then it was the meat, then it was the ready-to-eat, the lettuce and ready-to-eat things that's cold on the line. So it's something different every single time, and so...
You know what's sad about this situation, at least from my perspective? Like, this is uncommon. It's uncommon to have a criminal investigation under food-based illnesses. Like, that's not the norm. That's almost like that's like someone being criminally prosecuted or at least indicted for poisoning someone.
Yeah,
you know,
on
that's how
purpose,
exactly
on purpose.
intentionally. So that's how bad this situation is.
And you know what questions me? Like, why isn't this place closed yet? You know, with so many different occasions with having foodborne illness, this place should not even be still functioning. You know, it's a lot of other places out here, especially say if this was a small business that just had to keep having incidents like this. Of course, they're going to shut it down immediately. So I don't really know what's the background to why Chipotle would still be open with them now being criminally investigated.
Well, so I'll say this, right? You know, from a business perspective, I could understand why they're still functioning simply because this is a nationwide chain, you know, and I would have to, I'm going to look up Chipotle's net worth, but I would safely bet that they are, you know, somewhere in the hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars.
Okay.
And right now they're trading at over $300 a share. Yeah,
Y'all
that's
better
why
get
you don't
y'all
see
some.
them being shut down, because imagine putting all these people, they have a market cap of $9.8 billion. That's what the company is worth. $9.8 billion.
That's a lot
They're not
of money.
that's a lot of money. They're not going to shut down all their chains in 50 plus states.
Okay, so
because
maybe
of
like
this.
in the location that it is in that state.
Now that location where someone got sick at, where we talked about a few weeks
They're probably
back,
closed.
like that location should be on pause immediately.
Immediately,
like you
like-
can't serve people food and y'all are literally
Getting people sick each and every
being
time.
criminally prosecuted. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
that's
peeps.
a problem.
But money talks, right? And so
That's
especially
right.
when you're talking about food, you know,
Yeah.
restaurants, $9.8 billion, almost a $10 billion company.
Yeah, they look at that as being a minute issue. That's something that's small. Yeah, with the company being, you know, that much. Yeah, that's a small, simple issue. But it's a big deal, though. It's a big deal because people lose their lives behind foodborne illnesses and everything. So
Yeah, and this was two sources of E. coli outbreaks. This was norovirus outbreak back in 2015.
Wow.
Another outbreak, and that was in Boston, and there was another one in Semi Valley, California. There was another one, I mean, in
On and on.
Sterling. Like, it's crazy.
it is crazy.
It is a crazy
see why I don't
situation.
eat at Chipotle's? I have not been to Chipotle since I heard about the first outbreak because I don't want to be one of those people in the article.
And let me say this. Their tofu is excellent, man.
It's the bomb.
Their tofu is so
Big bowls
good.
are good, but look, I'm
Come
scared.
on. That's the difficult part, because like I'm still excited. I'm a foodie. I'm a Houston foodie for those that are watching us right now. Like, I enjoy good food.
Yes.
And Chipotle has good food. So it's for me it's a difficult situation to step away, but it's one that's necessary, because surely I don't want to end up on
And you
on
know,
the
like
news.
I was just telling you a minute ago, they just dropped some new queso, so they trying to still draw you in, but people are still getting shuffled out because of the investigations and people getting sick. So you kind of like stuck in between a rock and hard place, because you're like, I want to try this new queso, but it's new. It might be contaminated. I just don't know.
It just might be. It just might
don't
be
know, so-
contaminated. But
It's
it
difficult.
is what it is. Chipotle, shout out to you all.
We might get to try that new cheese and chips.
And then try the new ER. I don't know what might happen. Who knows what's coming down the pipe from Chipotle.
know.
So it is what it is, though. I won't complain.
Yeah.
Speaking of ERs and situations like that, I'm going to make a hard pivot because obviously for those that are watching us right now, we have suspended advertising for this week. We wanted to dedicate the advertising spots that we have here on the Sphere Network for those that have been impacted by Hurricane Harvey, by putting out different relief efforts and things that are available for people to either A, donate, or B, receive assistance. So let's talk about a project that we have that's up and going right now. And this is from an app developer. This is Texas Black Pages. And they want people to know that if you download their app, and that's available for anyone on the App Store from Apple or Google Play Store for your Android devices. Texas Black Pages is the name of the app. And of course, they have a website at www.texasblackpages.com. They have a button on the app once you open it up that will show you how to get financial assistance with FEMA relief or SBA relief. They also, for those that are still looking for homes or you're in a situation where you need some type of roof over your head for the next several days, they also have another button on their app that allows for Airbnb sites that are here in the Houston and surrounding areas. So really good app to have on your phone along with the Zelle app, but good app to have on your phone, Texas Black Pages, so that you can find out about financial assistance via FEMA relief as well as SBA relief. So just a FYI, and we want to obviously make those things aware to you all. And if you may not need it, let someone else know, that there's some opportunities out here, because applied knowledge is power. It's not just okay to have the knowledge, but you got to make it applicable. And if it doesn't affect you, share that with someone so that we can get the word out that there's relief efforts around and things are moving in the right direction. Am I right, Rob?
Most definitely. You might not be affected, but those that don't have access or they're not able to actually hear this right now, this will be like gold for them, because it's hard. It's a struggle right now, and it's so sad, but we all need to just help each other, know.
What we would say, the struggle is real.
The struggle is really real.
It's not real.
We're not even saying to be playing. We saying it's literally, the struggle is real.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Struggle is real.
So moving forward, I know we want to talk a little bit. We want to give the people some safety. Am I right?
Yes, we do. Of course, this is always our safety. We try to make sure it flows with our recipe. Of course, we're going to be doing some cutting and things. So the importance, we haven't talked about this actually
this
here.
Is new.
And this is something that is very important. A lot of people don't really think much into it. A lot of you guys own cutting boards in your homes. Some people have wood, some people have bamboo, some people have plastic. You name it. It's so many different kind of. I know.
I got that.
I forgot all about that song.
Yes.
But there are so many different cutting boards, but people forget to understand the importance of the kind of cutting board that you're using. Now, you hear about the color boards cutting boards. You have red, the green, the yellow, the white. And they all have a purpose. They're not that color just because, I want a yellow cutting board in my kitchen. They have a purpose. Some people do buy them just because. Now, the wood ones, of course, they come in different styles. When I say wooden, bamboo sometimes, different materials, but the importance, I'm going to go ahead and break it down. The two main ones that are used a lot will be the colored boards and the wooden boards. I have a wooden board and a colored one myself. Now, the thing with the wooden boards are not supposed to be used with meats at all. If anything, you will use a wooden cutting board with only ready-to-eat vegetables, breads. And the purpose for that is because when you use a wooden board, wood has pores. It absorbs. So if you're going to use a wooden board with raw meat, it's going to absorb that meat juice. And it's hard to get that kind of bacteria out of a board because it absorbs. The wood is contaminated. And, they say with wooden boards, you're not supposed to wash them and submerge them in water because it's wood. It's just like a kitchen. Your counters, those people who have that wood under the countertop. When it's wet, it bubbles up. It's the same thing for the wooden boards, and so it holds contamination. That's the bad thing about wooden cutting boards. Knives with wooden handles. If you're cutting meats, that handle holds bacteria, and a lot of people don't know that. That's why they recommend you get those hard metal handle for your knives. And I wish they had metal cutting boards, but don't. I've never seen a metal.
I don't think I've ever seen one either. I don't know if I've been looking for one, but I don't think I've ever seen one.
I'm gonna have to Google that and find out. But for the other boards I expressed earlier, the color ones, the white is the typical all around. Then you have the reds for the meats, the greens for the vegetables and the breads. You have one for seafood itself. You have yellow. So it's a bunch of different colors. Those are the only colors that you're going to see, of course. But with those boards can be submerged in water. You can maybe use a cap of bleach with the water and let them soak. You can even I use a bench scraper. I don't know if you know what a bench scraper is. It's this little thing. I'm trying to explain it so that you understand.
What's its purpose? What does it do?
It scrapes off whatever's on the board.
Huh.
For the plastic one, not for the wooden one, because you don't need to scrape any of that, but just for your plastic board. You scrape it across and it removes like whatever's stuck on the board and a layer of that, because those boards are plastic. So with plastic, those are easier to clean than the actual wooden boards. So myself, I have both kind of boards because I like to switch it up. And I really like my wooden board because you get a good nice cuts out of the wooden board, but you have to know how to sanitize it. Also, the storage with your cutting boards is very important for you guys. If you have a wooden cutting board at home, with it being wooden and, wood holds bacteria, you want to clean it and you want to wrap it. You want to wrap it in plastic saran. That's what I do, a plastic wrap, because it's out and it's exposed to air and dust and everything. And that wood just holds on to bacteria. It's just like if you have wooden floors, wooden counters, it collects dust. You want to make sure that you preserve your wood. You want to use those wood cleaners, but you want to use the ones that are food safety, of course. They have food safety wooden board cleaners that you guys can use to actually clean that board so you don't affect your food and then cross-contaminate. So I see we have avoiding cross-contamination. That's what they're saying. The meat and poultry, porous. You have woods that are porous, like I was telling you. It's just like skin. They absorb. And so wooden boards, like I said, should be used for like fresh produce, ready to eat salads, breads. And then, of course, that's when the plastic come in, and that's for the meats and things and seafoods, just to keep that cross-contamination down. Of course, I just discussed the cleaning of the cutting boards. You want to clean them with the hot sanitizer water. I always like to throw in a little bit of bleach because it just helps just to disinfect.
That's important right there.
Disinfect those boards because you use a cutting board almost for everything. So making sure that it's disinfected is going to save you all of the trouble. And of course, it's going to help you to not mess up your kitchen counter. Some people don't have cutting boards in their home, so they're cutting directly on your kitchen counter.
Say word.
Yes.
You're lying. People are cutting on their kitchen counters?
Gary,
who does that?
It's people that don't know about it, though. I'm so serious. I have a couple friends.
That is crazy.
They cut on the kitchen counter. You'll go to their house and you see lines on the counter.
Wow.
It's because they don't know. They don't know that they have cutting boards out here for that. But they also fail to realize if you don't sanitize that counter, then everything that you're cutting, everything that's been placed on that counter, people sitting on the counter, people putting stuff from wherever on that counter, and you come right in there, I'm finna cut me an orange, I'm finna cut this. You're contaminating.
Wow.
And you're messing your countertops up at the same time, so I don't want nobody coming on my place cutting on my counter.
Don't cut on my countertops. For real. Like if you're in my kitchen, there's a cut. There's two. Well, one, at least one.
I should have pulled up an image of a cutting board, like an image to actually show you how it would look if you just cut directly on your counter versus the cutting board. It's something serious because, man, it's serious. Make you want to have a stroke.
Hey,
Ridges and lines and scratches all on the countertop because you're cutting with no cutting board.
That is crazy.
So you guys can invest in cutting boards. They don't cost much. They have them in different sizes. Little bitty small ones to big grande sizes. And you can get them for $5. You can get them for $10, $15, $12, $8. It just depends on what kind of board and how often you use it. So if you don't really use a cutting board that much to do a lot of cutting, then you can probably get you a little small one. And they have them just about everywhere, Walmart, Target, so you can always find it. And if you don't see it, you can always ask an associate in the store. But they are a great essential to save your counters, your countertops.
Yep, a lot of different styles, a lot of different colors. The colors now have meanings. Now I know.
Now you see that wooden board, Gary, with the dips in the side?
Yeah.
The dips for those boards, that's just to catch, if you're cutting fruits and vegetables, you know how they run liquids?
Yeah.
Liquids fall right off in the sides. They roll right off. Now, if you see with a regular plastic cutting board, when you cut, it tends to just run off onto the counter.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way with the wooden one. Also, with using plastic cutting boards like these colorful ones here, you want to make sure that you wet up a piece of paper towel, or you wet up a towel to place right under the cutting board, because these boards are going to slide, and that's really bad for when you're cutting, because you don't want to cut yourself, cut your hand. And that's just
goes back to knife safety.
Knife safety, just all around. Now, the difference with the wooden boards, they don't really slide a lot because they're so heavy and dense and they sit there. But with the plastic and with your countertop being slick, it's going to slide. So if you don't want to use a towel, feel free to wet paper towel. Place it under there, and it's going to get the job done. They even have mats that you can buy in the store, silicone mats. You place that mat down, place the board right on top, and you can get the job done. So,
there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Appreciate those tips, madam. Appreciate those tips.
It's serious. Just know I got cutting boards on that.
I see.
I don't cut on countertops.
I feel you. No more cutting on countertops, people. Make sure y'all not cutting up your stuff, especially if you're in an apartment. Jeez, get a cutting board. They're not expensive. So, going back to our hurricane relief, for those that are still tuned in, Facebook Live, we're going to give you this last piece of relief for different things that are happening in the Houston area and ways that you can donate and, of course, give back. This is Project Beautification.
Wow.
Or Project Beautiful Me. So they've got an after storm initiative that they're providing relief across the cities of Houston, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, Rockport, and of course Corpus Christi, where Hurricane Harvey landed initially. They're taking monetary and in-kind donations. They're also taking non-perishable food items, waters, diapers, toiletries, new clothing. Let me stress again, new clothing, sheets, and cleaning supplies, which is definitely important. If you want to donate to them, and this once again, Project Beautiful Me, this is their after the storm relief initiative, you can send an email over to info@projectbeautifulme.org. And once again, that is info@projectbeautifulme.org. So make sure you are donating in some form or fashion. Make sure you are giving back. Help these relief funds, because they're literally touching the lives of individuals that have been devastated or displaced during Hurricane Harvey. And of course, we've got multiple hurricanes that are now destroying islands in the Caribbean and working their way back towards the United States. So we want to keep all of them in our prayers and thoughts. So Facebook Live, we love you. We adore you. We thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, next up, we've got a in kitchen that's coming up. We've got some good food. What we cooking today, Rob? Or what y'all cooking? Not we.
We're
ain't
going to be doing a quick six.
Okay.
Of course, you guys who are subscribed, you probably have seen that we've done quick six, and this is very easy. They're always delicious. But today we're going to be cooking the French dip with the peppers and onions.
Nice.
So you guys, if you like those hoagies, the French dip with the au jus and all that good stuff, you have to make sure you guys subscribe to see that, because we are about to get into the tea with that. Well, we can't do it here on the Facebook Live. This is just to give y'all a little glimpse into what's going on over here. But you can also make sure you guys go on any of our major platforms to subscribe, and that will be iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, or Stitcher. Or if you don't want to go on any of those, you can always feel free to go on the website, www.thesphere.tv/a la carte, and all the shows are right there, and it even give you a second chance to even make sure that you subscribe. Any of those great buttons right there.
Yep.
Feel free to share this. Of course, sharing is caring. We want to make sure you're getting this out there, especially with us having these Harvey relief ads and this information. We want to make sure this information is getting put in the right place.
Indeed.
And so make sure you guys are sharing. We also want to make sure you guys are reviewing us on iTunes, because we want that constructive criticism so we can continue to put out that great inspiring content, so you guys can continue to come back and watch each and every week, learn something new, tell your friends and family about it, all of that good stuff. And we always encourage you guys, lastly, to donate. And you can donate simply by going to www.thesphere.tv/donate. You can give a single donation, or you can give a donation on a Patreon. You can give whatever your heart desires, but we want to continue to give you guys, like I said, great, inspiring content each and every week. So make sure you guys are subscribing.
All right, Facebook Live. We'll see y'all later. Make sure y'all tune in for the rest of this episode. So, keeping this party going, Rob. Now, I know we are about to get to the kitchen. I know we're about to. So let's deep dive. What are we doing today for the good people? What shall we expect?
Okay, so we're going to be doing French dip with peppers and onions. And this meal only consists of 6 ingredients, okay? 6 ingredients. That will be the good way, which is the traditional way. We always like to give you guys the traditional, the healthy, and the fancy way to do things. And so with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. The good way, you're going to have skirt steak. You're going to have vegetable oil, onions, beef broth, red and green bell peppers, and hoagie buns.
There it is.
That is very, very simple and delicious. Man, I was excited about it. I'm very excited because I love anything in a hoagie bun, period. It's delicious. And then, of course, we have the better way, which is the healthy way. And that typically just comes with the low sodium beef broth and, of course, the sirloin steak. Now, I chose sirloin because sirloin has less fat on it. You could feel free to do the shoulder. You could do basically any lean cut of beef. You can do a round bottom. So many different cuts. I don't want to go too deep into the beef streets, but so many different ones. And of course, we have the best way, which is the fancy way. And this is a way that I want to try. I'm going to try. I might have to try this off camera, but I'm about to try this way off camera because we show you guys the traditional way, but it is going to be available, and that is bacon. We always like to add bacon to
bacon.
everything.
Nothing wrong with some bacon.
Bacon. Of course, you want to add some herbs in that dip. Herbs to that meat. Delicious. And, of course, Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese. Put it on the meat, melt it under the peppers with those sauteed onions and mushrooms. Toasted hoagie bun.
And then the portobello mushrooms.
So delicious, so delicious, so delicious. So those are our 3 ways of traditional, the better, and the best that you can get those. And also you guys can make sure you get those recipes online as well. So don't worry, for you guys that are listening and you want to go ahead and make that fancy way or traditional healthy way, you could go on to the website www.thesphere.tv/a la carte, and you could print that recipe out with the good, better, best way, and you got it right there for you. Or even if you're subscribed, I'm pretty sure most of our subscribers, they have the iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitch and all that. So y'all already prepared. Y'all just got to go home and print it out, and y'all good to go.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great meal. I'm excited. I don't think I've ever made a French dip. And so when I saw the hoagie, I was like, wait a minute. I'm thinking dip like when we did the ultimate 7-layer dip. So those that are tuned in, that was a darn good dip. So make sure y'all go back to that. But I'm not, I have to think French dip means you're taking some bread with something in it and you're dipping it in something. Yeah. Okay.
But this will be a great meal too, because football is it's already started. So this will be a good thing for those parties too. You have all the sandwiches on the tray with a dip. Man,
there it is. I'm with it. I am with it.
And this will be something that would be different. You don't typically see French dip sandwiches with peppers and onions.
Nah.
At a tailgate, Super Bowl, whatever party it is, you don't see this.
Yeah.
All the time. So I think this will be a great idea for football food as well.
Yeah.
Very simple, finger foods. You can dip it, eat it, and enjoy it. So make sure you guys are going on there to get those recipes because we want to make sure you guys are ready to go. We are about to go ahead and head over to the kitchen. Make sure you have your aprons. Of course, you guys, we're going to be doing some cutting. So we just gave you the tea already on that cutting board safety. So I want to see the cutting boards. I don't want to see pictures of y'all food this time. Yep. I want to see y'all send over some cutting boards. I want to see them send over some cutting boards to the social media on Instagram at the Sphere, #a-la-carte. I want to see y'all cutting boards that y'all using out there. And if you is using your account, if you ain't got no shame in your game, go ahead and send that shot over too, because we want to see the good, bad. We want to see the good, bad,
the good, bad, and ugly. Yeah, we'll take a look. We will take a look.
We want to see the good, bad, and ugly because we here to help y'all and make sure y'all are the true cooks and get you right on the right path.
Indeed. So, and right before we leave, one last thing. Of course, we were talking about the Hurricane Harvey relief. We want to make mention of our last particular relief effort, and that's going to be the donations that are needed over at the State's Developmental Football League. You can go to their website at www.gofundme.com/S as in Sam, D as in David, F as in Florida, L as in Libra, Houston Strong. Once again, that's for the State's Developmental Football League. They are accepting donations that they're going to disseminate out, and that's at their GoFundMe.com site /SDFL Houston Strong. So make sure you donate today for them to, get these dollars back into the circulation, back into the community. And that's a great gentleman over there that's head of that. He was actually on our Money Factor show, ex-football player for the Houston Texans. So
awesome.
Shout out to the Houston Texans, and shout out to the Developmental Football League. They're doing
it
thing.
big. They're doing it real big.
So we're about to do our thing big. Not me, of course. You won't see me, but about to do the thing big in the kitchen. Rob, let the people know where they can reach you at real quick before you cut out to the kitchen.
Oh, you guys can find me on social media, of course, Facebook, Good Meal Deals, and on Instagram, you can find me goodmeal_deals. Personal chef services. You can look out for that little cute pot with all the smiling fruits and veggies. It's excitement. So, go ahead and find me. I don't have a Snapchat. I need to get a Snapchat for y'all so y'all can see live in kitchen action when it's going down.
On the snaps.
When I'm out there meal prepping and in homes doing my thing.
Doing your deliveries.
Doing my deliveries.
Snaps.
So I'm thinking about giving. I am gonna be giving back to the community because I want to put out healthy meals. This is a great time to do it with so many people not having. So
get some tasty, healthy meals and get them off the BS that they were eating.
Yes.
And let them know, hey, you can eat something healthy.
Get them started on something healthy.
Yeah, why not? Break some habits. And of course, if y'all need to reach the Houston foodie himself, Google me at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z across all social media platforms. #branding. That's what you do. Make it sane, make it plain across everywhere.
That's right.
But once again, like Robin told y'all, grab your aprons, grab your recipes off the website. Head over to the kitchen to meet these young ladies, and let's get it popping.
Woo.
Woo.
Welcome back to the kitchen portion of A La Carte. I'm your host, Chef Jones, and we are cooking, you guys. Back again with some delicious food for you. The meal for this week is the French dip with the peppers and onions. I know this is a classic. A lot of you guys really love French onion dip sandwiches overall. With all the delicious ingredients, we are going to be showing you guys the traditional way to make this meal. The traditional way includes our skirt steak. We have our beef broth, our red and green bell peppers, Parmesan cheese. We have our julienne white onions, our hoagie rolls, salt and pepper, and of course we have our spatulas, our pans, and our aprons on. I hope you guys had enough time to go and get your recipes printed out and all the utensils that you need for this meal. So we're about to jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and start to season my meat. So with the salt and pepper with this meal, it's basically to taste. So the salt and pepper is not going to be on the recipe for that reason. You season it to your preference. So we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of salt. And then we're going to take a little bit of black pepper. The black pepper is something, to me, that's really important for this meal because it helps to bring out more of that beefy texture, that beefy taste. Also, you want to make sure your pans are on a medium-high heat. And you can go ahead and place your beef right on the inside, and you want to cook it until it is thoroughly cooked. And when I say thoroughly cooked, usually with beef, you don't have to cook it until it's well done because beef tends to be better when it's cooked medium. I preferably like mine's medium rare, but just to keep everybody comfortable, we're going to cook this to medium. So we're going to go ahead and place it right inside the pan. Okay, Then we're gonna go ahead and grab our oil, extra virgin olive oil. Feel free to use any oil of your preference. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a cap full of oil, just to help to speed along the process. Now with your meat in here, you're just gonna go ahead and saute this. It doesn't take long. Skirt steak is a very thin steak, so it cooks very fast. Skirt steak is typically used in a lot of tacos. Sometimes it's used with fajitas. A lot of cool different things that you can use this for. But today we're going to be using it for our French onion dips. Some people even use sirloin steak for their French onion. It just really is your preference. You don't have to do skirt steak. Whatever's in your budget that you can afford, any steak is good for these French onion dips. So we want to just saute these until this is all the way cooked. And we're going to just let that go. Now, meanwhile, we have our breads here. Now, if you don't have hoagie breads, feel free to go and get bolillo loaves or anything basically that has an opening like this. You can toast your bread if you like that crunchy texture on the outside. Feel free to do that as well. For the purposes for today, I am going to be leaving it like this. This bread is pretty good. It absorbs really well. That's another trick with toasting your bread. It helps to absorb that liquid very, very easily, because we will be having a very basic dip that I'm going to be making today to show you as well. Our meat is almost there. Another minute or two, and it will be there. Now this meal is very simple. Very, very simple to make. Takes no time at all. I guess the most time that you could say this meal will take will be about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you are in a rush and you're trying to get something cooked for your family really quick, this will be the meal to go to. It's very cost efficient, so it doesn't cost much at all to make. And of course, it's always delicious because a la carte is giving it to you guys. So I'm going to continue to saute this just for a little bit until it gets completely cooked. And it's almost there. You're going to see when you're cooking steak, it changes from pink to brown. Of course, you guys should know that. But if you don't, that is what will happen. And you want to just saute it. It's almost there. Feel free also with this recipe if you want to throw in things that are extra, because we also give you our good, better, best, which is the traditional, the healthy, and the fancy way to do this meal. So if you want to go in and add in some sauteed mushrooms along with these peppers, feel free to do that. Also, if you want to add in bacon, you want to add in herbs and cheese, that just makes the meal even better. Now with these raw ingredients here, you see we have our red and green bell peppers, and then we also have our onions. We're going to be adding this into the pan with the meat once the meat has gone to a certain point. You don't want to add it too early, but you want to add it once your meat has changed in color. Now I'm going to give you guys a quick glimpse of how it looks. My meat has now cooked enough for me to go ahead and add in my bell peppers. So I'm going to place that back on the heat, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my red and green bell peppers. You don't have to cut it as a julienne. A julienne would be a matchstick like this. You can chop it, you can dice it, however you like it. Feel free to do that. So you're going to place those right inside of there. You're also going to do your onions. Once again, you don't have to slice them. This is the easiest way to do it. But feel free to dice it. Big chunks, little chunks. You're going to place those onions right inside of the pan as well. And you're going to saute these peppers and onions until the peppers and onions softens. So we're going to place that right in there. You want to mix it in really well. What the peppers and onions is going to do, it's going to really give this meat an additional nice flavor because you already have the salt and pepper. And then you have onions and bell pepper, so it's going to give it that savory taste. And it smells delicious already. So we're going to keep sauteing that. And then once we bring this off of here, we're going to be putting in our broth. That's where this comes into play. Now our sauce for this meal is going to be made based on whatever's left in the pan. We usually call that a fond. Everything that's stuck to the pan, once we place the broth inside, it picks up everything from the pan, all the seasoning, all the flavor, and we're going to keep that because that's going to be our dip for this meal. So I'm actually going to take this off of here, and I'm going to place it on a higher burner in the back just to accelerate our process just a little bit faster. Come on, fire. Scoot it over to this side. Okay. Now I'm going to come back here. So with this meal, for the plating, I have a big plate and a small bowl. You can feel free to use whatever kind of plating setup that you want. You don't necessarily have to put your dip in a bowl. If you want to already dip the sandwiches and place them on a plate, feel free to do that. Just really your preference. But today I'm going to be showing you guys how I like to present it for you guys. I'm going to take a step back over here to check on my beef. And we're going to add in our broth now. Now with your broth, you're going to add about 1 cup of broth into the pan. And you want to just let that heat up because now your meat is completely cooked. Your onions are completely cooked, your bell peppers, so everything is already combined and it's looking really, really good. Now my favorite is always going to be the cheese. Once we place everything inside of these, we want to go ahead and sprinkle that cheese right on top. You can feel free to place it in the oven if you want your cheese melted a little bit and you want your hoagie roll to be heated as well. You can go ahead and place it in there, pull it out, and then we're going to put our sauce right into the bowl. So I'm about to bring the pan up now because it is ready to go. Okay, so now we have everything already combined. I'm going to give you guys a quick glimpse of how it looks. We do have liquid in the pan, so we want to be very careful. We're going to be pouring this liquid back into our measuring cup earlier. It's going to be very hot, so you want to take your time. And it's okay if you don't get all of the liquid, but you want to get most of the liquid without spilling all of your ingredients. Okay. Now we're going to take some tongs and we're going to start the process of actually building our French dip with peppers and onions. So I have already pre-sliced these breads in half. I'm going to go ahead and place some ingredients right on the inside. And you want to stuff it so that it's stuffed. Don't be shy with the meat or the peppers and onions. You want to place it all on the inside. Okay. Now we have everything stuffed on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and place it on the plate. Now with this setup, because I also want to start introducing to you guys more of plate presentation. I don't want to just show you guys how to cook. I want to also show you how you can get a little bit fancier in the kitchen with just knowing how to plate up things. With this cheese, we're going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit right on top. Feel free to put more cheese if you like it. And then with our beef broth dip right here, we're going to go ahead and pour that right into our bowl slowly. all the way up to about the edge, 3/4 away from the lip of the bowl. And there you have your French dip with peppers and onions. Looks really, really good. You can cut this sandwich in half. You can dip it. You can pour it on the inside. All those great things. But I do want to make sure you guys are subscribing to us on our major platforms: iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher. You can even find us on social media at the Sphere TV, #AlaCarte. I do want to see you guys' French dips and how you do it, if you use the fancy version or the healthy version. And it was a pleasure cooking with you guys today, so I will definitely see you guys next week.